Family mode.
I'm in a webinar. Good afternoon, and thank you for attending. I'd like to extend a warm welcome to all of our attendees. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Jody from Great Garment Graphics, and today we've invited Bruce Weint of the Group Stall Sales Alliance to present Maximize Your Equipment and Expand Your Business. Bruce comes to us with about 17 years of experience, and he did say that he enjoys all the aspects of the garment industry because it's growing and changing so much and so constantly. But his favorite sort of sector of that is embroidery and applique. But he does have a ton of knowledge and is really excited to share, particularly today, I think some out-of-the-box ideas, maybe even some things that you hadn't previously considered when it comes to your business or expanding your business or approaching your customers. So that being said, I would very much like to welcome Bruce for joining us today, and I will turn it over to Bruce.
Thank you, Jody. Good afternoon, everybody. It's great to be here and looking forward to sharing this webinar with you. Today we're going to be talking, of course, about maximizing your equipment and expanding your business. Pretty much what we're looking at here is we're going to go over a few basic things that you might already know, but we're also going to touch on some things that are relatively new to stalls and to the Group Stall Sales Alliance, and also to just kind of throw a different light on perhaps some things you've already been using. And one thing we're going to touch on I'm really excited about is hybrid customization, which is joining two different types of medias, two or more actually. So anyway, we're going to get started here. The first thing I want to touch on is heat presses. Now, there's usually with one of the first questions I get, especially from anyone who is new in the industry and sometimes from seasoned veterans, is, what do I need a particular heat press for? I'm going to touch on some basics. Jody is actually going to be giving another webinar on June 29th. So if you're new to the business, please make sure you check that one out. I'm going to show you ergonomics and basics as to why you might want one. She's going to go into a lot more detail as to what each one will do for you. The first thing we're going to talk about is your heat press options. We have the clam press and the fusion that are our current ones. There's also cap presses and another one we call a mini press. The main reason you're going to look for one over the other is number one, price, and number two, ergonomics. There's also option of PLATENS and some other things we're going to cover here, but let me get started with the heat presses. Now, what you're looking at on this image here is our Max Press and then our Hotronix Fusion. Now, if you've been in the industry for a while, you were familiar with the Hotronix Swinger, which was our most popular heat press for a long time, and then after that we introduced the Hotronix Draw Press. What they've done is they have blended these two presses together. So now you have both aspects in one. And in reality, sometimes a draw press is going to work out better for you, sometimes a swinger. Most people prefer the swinger because you can stand in one spot and you're not moving around a lot. The Max Press here is our clam model. You have two kinds, the Max line and the Hotronix line. The Max is our economy models. You do have there's a few major things that are very important with heat pressing. This time, temperature, and pressure. I call them the big three. Basically, the things that you have on the Max Press, you're gonna be saving a little bit of money with the Max Press, but it does not have the auto release like the Hotronix does. It does not have a dual timer like the Hotronix does, and also the Hotronix will provide you with a pressure readout. The pressure readout is very important because as you're getting different types of materials, what may be a medium pressure to one person might not be to another. But anyway, if you're on a budget and you're looking for a good heat press that'll still get you started, the Max Press is going to do a great job. The Hotronix line, you might as well, it's almost like Chevrolet Cadillac here. The Fusion, we're very excited about. The a couple of new things that are available here is you have a touch screen. You have several programmable entries in here, and also the big thing here is the threadable platen. Those of you who are screen printers, you turn your shirt upside down, you throw it over the platen, and then you decorate it. And you can also do that with this press. The support is in the back instead of how it's been traditionally in the center. And as you can see, you have your drawer handle here, so it'll work as a draw press and as a swinger. Another couple of machines that we have available are the mini press and also the cap press. And actually, I want to jump back just real quick here. Why would you want a clam press versus a fusion? Okay, the clam press, especially with Hotronics, has an automatic release. The max press, you will have to pull up the platen by yourself. But that is, there's two things it offers. It's a space saver, and it also will allow you to, with the Hotronics line this is, it'll allow you to walk away from it. So if you have to apply something for 10 seconds and the phone rings or whatever, it'll pop up for you. If there's a disadvantage at all, you do have to bend down a little bit to do your work. With the Fusion, you can be standing upright the whole time. And basically, as far as ergonomics go, it's a lot more friendly, plus you're not anywhere near the heat. The cap press and the mini press. If you're in sporting goods at all, cap press is pretty much a gimme. If you're selling softball jerseys or any kind of jerseys whatsoever, you can sell caps. The cap press, also one of our previous presenters, they used to call it can't apply practically anything. So if you want to touch on, like cuffs or collars, tight little spots, the cap press will help you there. Same thing for the mini press. Now, of course, there's a concave platen for the cap press, flat one for the mini press. Mini press is still very handy if you're doing a lot of left chest stuff or you're doing infant shirts. Any tiny little area, this is going to help you because you're dealing with a lot smaller of a print area. And then, of course, we have optional platens. Once again, the Stahls offers a lot of different accessories that you can slide inside of the shirts and make your print to isolate your print area. But in the end, if you have a smaller platen or one that's more shaped to the garment or whatever substrate you're applying to, is going to be a lot more handy. Those of you who are experienced in heat pressing, you know already what I'm talking about. If you're new to the business, it's one of those things where you almost got to experience it before you realize how much nicer it is to have a smaller platen. It's just a lot easier to work with. With the cap platens, we have all kinds of different shapes for your low profile hats or your extra large hats, that kind of thing. Once again, Jody's going to do a lot more detail in terms of what your benefits are to each press and how to best fit your business. We want to talk about some different out-of-the-box ideas. Something that's Jody, can we hit that first poll question? I was curious just how many of the folks in the group already have a cap press.
Okay, so the question is, do you own a cap press? Oh, wow. Interesting. Okay, so I'll just give it, looks like just about everybody's voted, so I'm going to close it. Bruce, it looks like 86% of our attendees actually have a cap press.
Okay, well that's great. That's great. Especially this time of year, where this time of year you can sell caps like hotcakes. Right now we've already been through the first baseball season. All-Star season's coming up soon. If you don't already have one, it's a great investment that'll pay for itself quickly. And the cap presses are available in the Max line and also in the Hotronics line. Okay, some out-of-the-box ideas. Something that's relatively new to us is shoe decoration. I've seen different applications here in the sports world, and also urban gear. Shoe decoration is very popular. Just recently here, we decorated some soccer shoes. For anyone who's familiar with soccer, the shoes are very lightweight and they have sort of a plastic feel to them, and they're ribbed. We had a special platen made to decorate shoes, put them under the heat, And in all honesty, when I first looked at the shoe, I thought this thing's going up in smoke. But sure enough, it held out really well. The shoe was not damaged in any way whatsoever, and even the ribbing, which is on the shoes to help grab the soccer ball, was not affected whatsoever. So that's just something. If you have a heat press, you can add a shoe platen. What we would need is for you to just tell us what press you have and your serial number, and we can make it specifically for your Hotronix or Max Press. So that's just kind of something to keep in mind for the future. And one thing that's so important is put it out there. Try something out and just sit it on the shelf. See how your customers react to it. One thing that we always try to get people doing is to just introduce it, because I've seen things myself that I thought, no way is this going to work, and it takes off like gangbusters. So it's always healthy to do that. A couple of different things we're going to point you to. Decoration of leather, and I got a picture of that we're going to see here shortly. Leather is a nice product to decorate. You can do belts, bags, jackets, vests. If you're doing motorcycles, for chaps are really cool. A few different things. Another, and I'm sorry, I'm kind of jumping around here a little bit. Definitely check out joshellsworth.com. Now, most of you have been in the industry for a while, are already familiar with Josh Ellsworth. He's our manager for CAD Cut Direct, and he's always trying something new. There's actually a really great video on bling kits that are that's on his website there. Definitely check that out. The first thing we're going to start with here is for out-of-the-box ideas is Scotch-Lite reflective. If you see here, this young lady pushing the baby, Scotch-Lite reflective is a real handy material to have. Most cities do not have really, they're not really well lit, even on main roads. I used to live in Charlottesville, Virginia, right in the downtown area. It's as dark as it can be. So if you're doing anything at night, just walking, running, riding a bicycle, no matter what, a Scotch-Lite reflective is going to help you to be seen better, especially in a case like this where you have a child involved. Let's see here. Go on to this next slide. Now, the DOT sticker, obviously that's a pretty general run-of-the-mill type of use. Now, a lot of folks, when we first released Scotch-Lite reflective, and by the way, this is available as a CAD cut material, so you can cut it yourself, or stalls will create logos, player names, pretty much whatever you need for it. One of the big arguments that I heard when we first started releasing this is, well, the vest itself is already ANSI certified, but as contractors and as different companies came to realize that you could have a logo cut, their own company logo cut, it got more and more popular. And now if you go down the road nowadays and you see a construction crew, chances are you're going to see this. The main thing is to just kind of keep your mind open in terms of different things that you can look at. The Killer Bee motorcycles, this is also Scotch-Lite reflective, and which, by the way, this product, I would highly encourage you to get yourself a sample and put it on something and see it at night. There's no picture that's going to really do it justice. You can see it's reflecting some, but you really have to see it at night. All of this is ANSI certified, and this particular product is what the fire department, the police department are using for their safety purposes. Bottom line is if you're doing anything at night, you cannot be too visible, since nowadays everybody's on the phone while they're driving. There's TVs, people are dealing with kids and stuff. It's just a healthy thing. If you're out there, it's good to be seen. This particular logo here, the motorcycle logo, that's put on a dress shirt. You're going to see, if you sell to the motorcycle crowd at all, you're going to see a lot of them, especially in the summertime. It's hot out, but what they do is they'll wear a long sleeve shirt to cover their arms from the wind and the sun, especially in the day. But as night comes, it gets cooler, and the long sleeve is going to just be enough to keep you warm. 3M Scotch-Lite reflective is a great way to be seen at night. Some of your biggest bikes in production have a very small tail light, and they're still hard to be seen at night. And so, okay, that's just a couple of things to touch on the Scotch Lite Reflective. Let me, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and stop. And Jody, do you want to just throw out there, does anyone have any questions as to where we're at so far?
I don't actually see any questions so far, Bruce.
Okay.
Oh, wait, let's see. Oh, he was wondering Jana was wondering if we had a picture of the decorated shoe. I can
You know what? Yeah, that's the one thing I don't have my hands on just yet. I'll tell you what, at the end of the webinar, we're going to have, you're going to have my email address and everything. Please shoot me a quick letter, and I will direct you actually to one of the shoe decoration videos, and we'll get you any kind of pictures we can supply.
Perfect. And that's it so far, Bruce.
Okay. Let's see here. All right, so we're going to go on to our next thing. Once again, out of the box ideas, CAD prints is a very big product, and we have the Solutions Opaque. Solutions Opaque can be used for a lot of different purposes, and not just Solutions Opaque, but there's several different things. Basically, if you have any kind of garment or bag, whatever it is you have, if you need to do a multicolor image and you have a lot of detail, CAD prints is the way to go. The reason I brought this up is leather is just a product that most people don't think about decorating, and you can't see it in this picture really, but this actual logo is applied to a piece of leather. It's like a just your standard leather jacket grade, and we carry it around. Some of you I'm sure have seen it because we carry it around to all the trade shows. And again, you know, jackets, chaps, bags, belts, anything that's leather. Now, what I would highly recommend is there are different grades of leather. If you want to get into this seriously, the best thing for you to do is to go to a leather shop that's local and have them cut you off a few different chunks of the leather just to see which ones are going to hold up to the heat best. Now, if you have a particular logo that you're doing a lot of stuff on, you may even want to take like a Print Perfect pad, which is an insert that's made of the same material as your lower platen of your heat press, and you can cut it out in the form of whatever it is your transfer is. The reason we're doing this is to, of course, avoid any heat lines. So just kind of something to keep in mind. Okay. There's let's see. Okay, so now we're going to touch on the cutters. The big question is, and again, we're talking to some folks who are new to the business. Jody, I guess go ahead and fire off that second question. I'm just curious how many of the folks in the crowd already have a cutter.
Okay, I will close the poll in just a few seconds. Okay. Bruce, it looks like 71% of our attendees already have a vinyl cutter.
Okay. All right. That is good as well. For the few who are not cutter owners, I'll explain the differences in the cutters for you and the benefits to each one. First off, why do I need a cutter? Basically, for your own freedom in terms of making things. The major profit killer in our industry is someone comes in, you may have done a job for them, everything went perfect, and then they come in and they say, I need one more. If you're a screen printer, there's just no way that you can be cost effective and make one more. So you have to reset up screens. If you've washed your screen out, you pretty much have to do the job again, and you can't do it. But as far as cutting goes, it's no problem. If if you cut a job and then your customer comes in and wants one more, it's just a matter of saying, you know what, sit down and have a cup of coffee. I'll have it for you in a couple of minutes. You can do it that fast. The other reason that you may want one is just any kind of a sample. Sometimes we have customers come in and they're not 100% sure what they want or how it's going to look. With a cutter, you can, as long as you have a basic grasp on the artwork, you can knock the sample out in just a minute. Same thing. Of course, the most important part of our business is repeat business, but if the key to growing our business, of course, is making for new customers. You always want to be courting new customers, courting new business. This is a great way to get it done, because what you can do is, if you have a decent idea for just the restaurant down the street, go ahead and develop something for them and print it on a shirt and take it to them. Say, hey, how do you like this? I just made one. It's yours to keep. You can have it. Would you like to order some of these? If all your customer has to do is say yes, selling just gets a lot easier. I'll be quick on the cutters, since most of us already own one. The vinyl cutter, if you're cutting mostly films, this is the way to go. Things for like player names or corporate logos. The film, there's a roll behind the cutter, and it's continuous feed, so you can keep rolling them out. If you are an embroiderer who offers applique, the Line 300 is the way to go. And these two cutters, by the way, are the staples in the industry. Pretty much everyone in the industry owns. I can't say everyone, but I would say the majority of people who own cutters own the Roland Cam 1. Their current model is the GX24. Cam 1's been around for a long, long time. They change the model number from time to time, but in the end, it's the same cutter. The Line cutter is for twill. Now, this will cut films, but it's really made for twill. If you look here, you can see that there's two colors on this design, and the red on top of the gold. The Line 300 will perform what's called kiss cut, which is where you're doing both layers of twill. When you cut both layers of twill, when you pull it out of the tray, it's one piece. For anyone who's done applique the old-fashioned way, you would understand this, because the way you used to have to do this is you would sew an outline stitch, so you knew where to place your applique. Then you would place the letters for your background down, and you'd have to sew them down. Then your machine comes through again and sews an outline stitch for the foreground. You place it and it sews it down. With Kiss Cut, your top layer at least is made of pressure-sensitive twill. So you're going to cut your bottom layer, cut your top layer. Both layers are laid out on the cutter at the same time. And the end result is, when you're finished, you pull the completed piece out. The Line also comes with the 301 software, which will create an embroidery file for you. So if you want to do a bean stitch, or if you want to do satin stitch, zigzag, all those are in there. Another nice benefit to this is you can save your file under several different languages. So be it Melco, Tajima, whatever your embroidery machine is, you just tell it which language you want to sell it to, or to save it to. And then let's just say, for instance, you did this design here where it says angels, and you wanted to bring that into your digitizing software and expand on it. Let's say you wanted to put direct embroidery with some different clip art and different things in there. You can take that existing Tajima file that you created with the 301 software, bring it over to your digitizing software, and really make it fancy. The main reason I'm touching on this is most embroiderers do not do applique. If you do, you're one of the few, and that's a good thing, because of the fact that if anybody who does direct embroidery, it's going to be profitable for you to offer applique, because you're automatically separating yourself from the group. If you have more questions in terms of the details of an applique or whatnot, please get in contact with me. Again, my contact information will be available at the end of the webinar. Alrighty, and moving right along here. There we go. Okay, to bounce back a little bit to the roll cutter, you can incorporate new products very easily. Stalls is now selling any CAD material 1 yard at a time. So your standard rolls are 5, 10, 25, and 50 yard rolls. You can add if you want to try something out, if you want to try a particular color out or just try a different one out, most people still haven't tried gloss or glow out. If you want to order a yard, we have it available for you. One I wanted to touch on here is Sport Film Lite and Super Film. Now these products have been out for a couple of years, but again, they're off the beaten path. Most folks who are in our industry have been using thermal film forever, and it's a great product, and it's very easy to work with. What we've come up with, though, is these materials are a lot softer, and they're a lot stretchier, especially Super Film is very stretchy. This picture you're looking at here is the very first image I cut out in Super Film, and when we first released it, I had a customer say, I need to cut really high detail. Can you, do you got something for that? And I was like, yep, we have it. And when I looked at the design, I'm thinking, oh no, I don't know how we're going to cut this small a detail. But sure enough, as you can see, I got a little dime sitting here next to it. It's going to feel a little bit different than thermal film. As far as cutting and weeding goes, you will have to take your time a little bit more in terms of weeding. But it's still relatively easy and works really well. This product is very soft hand, and it'll stretch an incredible amount. If you needed to put this on a wrestling singlet, it's no problem. Also, gloss and glow. I got a couple of pictures here I'm going to show you. But the main thing is just know that these materials are available to you, and also, latch on to your own ideas. Whatever it is that you're into, be it horses or motorcycles or whatever you like. Find something that interests you and try some different things with that. As soon as you share it with other people that who you ride with or whoever, you already have prospects there. That's something, and the reason I'm mentioning that is I see a lot of companies that again, they cater to sports and corporate, but they're still not branching out even into their own interests, which there's a lot of money to be made in those areas. And again, the main idea behind the cutter is to be able to say yes and provide the product quickly. It doesn't matter if you need one piece right now or if you need 10 pieces right now, you can make it happen with a cutter. If installs, of course, we're more than happy to cut everything for you, but there's the way to getting our processed and having it shipped. This is going to get things done a lot quicker for you. Just a couple of the new products that you may not know about yet, like our gloss. These are more, of course, fashion-oriented type things, very flashy, real big with cheerleaders and dance teams, that kind of thing. We have the glow and the Sport Film Lite. This is your traditional glow-in-the-dark type of material. As kids, we had it as toys, and once in a while you'd see it on a shirt, sometimes on a transfer. Now you can CAD cut your own designs. Sport Film Lite. Now, Sport Film Lite versus Super Film is, Sport Film Lite is, again, very soft, and really to touch them you probably wouldn't even be able to tell the difference. But they're as light as screen printing or even lighter. Sport Film Lite is not quite as stretchy as Super Film, but just as soft, and as you can see, you can cut in high detail with both of those. Both of those products can get really detailed. This one isn't super detailed, but again, very soft, fashion-oriented type of product. Sign vinyl. A big untapped resource for folks who have cutters is sign vinyl. Now, what most companies are doing is cutting a design like your typical soccer mom jersey, or you'll see an advertisement. Everything from, I said jersey, I apologize. I mean soccer mom sticker, store hours for businesses, or basic advertisement for trucks. This particular thing here, I cut out this was a gift package I sent to my grandpa. He was a World War II veteran, and he often talked about ended up in a foxhole, and he was with the 198th Field Artillery, so I sent him a little care package once and put this on there for him. It's a really neat idea. So sign vinyl is any hard surface that you can think of. It'll go on a door, a wall, a window, anything you want. Now, the profit potential here is incredible, because your typical soccer mom sticker, that you're going to pay, depending on where you're at, anywhere between $5 and $10 for. it costs you about a half penny per square inch to cut sign vinyl. So you really have some potential there. And then different ideas like this, you know, especially around Christmas time, this kind of thing can be big. I actually cut out some sign vinyl for my dad's truck one time. He had a condominium management business, and we put his company name and information on there. Again, the product I use cost me a couple of dollars. If I was selling it to him, you're talking anywhere between $25 and $50, depending on your market. What most folks do, you want to, if you're starting off with sign vinyl, you want to avoid trying to do anything that's very big. So if it's more than, say, 2.5 feet wide, be very careful. What most companies are doing who start off with sign vinyl is they'll cut logos, they'll have them available in their store, and then have the customer apply them. There are sprays that will you can hit with the window that will make the sign vinyl image a little bit slippery, so you can place it better. As you squeegee it out and let it dry, then it becomes permanent. But there's lots of different things you can do there. All kinds of different colors. This particular product you would be able to get through our sister company, Imprintables Warehouse. And we have everything you need. The sign vinyls in multiple colors. There's also a difference between sign vinyls is there's calendared, which is for usually a flat or hard surface, like a bumper sticker or just a window. And you also have cast vinyls, which will work around the shape. If you're trying to go over rivets or different pieces of detail, the cast vinyl is the way to go. Okay. Again, for out-of-the-box ideas, hybrid customization is been available for a long time, and we've actually been showing people how to do it for a while. But I still don't think, you know, as I go out and around, I still don't see a lot of companies offering it. Once again, if you offer this, it's going to separate you from everyone else. Go ahead, Jody, with the third question. I'm just curious as to how many folks are already offering hybrid customization. And for anyone who's not familiar with that term, it's just using two totally different types of material on the same garment.
Okay, so the question, do you do hybrid customization? Wow. I'm going to close the poll in just a moment here. Bruce, 71% said they do not, or about 67% said they do not do hybrid customization.
Okay. Well, that's actually great news, because now this is what we're looking for, is out-of-the-box ideas, something that you don't normally do. And the good news is most folks have the cutters, and if you're decorating tough spots, you already have a cap press. So for this particular crowd, that's actually good news. These are things that you can add. This is actually a pretty early picture of hybrid customization. This is our Solutions Opaque and CAD Cut thermal film. And you see they tore the shirt a little bit, just using a little bit of imagination. And that's something that one of the best places you can go is just use your crew. Ask them for ideas. See what kind of things that they can come up with. You'll be surprised at what kind of neat stuff you'll end up producing. One thing that I found to be a key to success in this industry is the store owners that I deal with who just change up their inventory from time to time. I had a particular customer down in Florida who was a college professor, and all he sold was twill letters that represented his college. I don't even remember what they were now, but what he would do is he'd change the color and he would change the layout. This week he would order a vertical arch, next week a reverse arch, and they sold like hotcakes. So keep changing it up, keep offering new things. For hybrid, though, again, we have Solutions Opaque and thermal film. This particular one here, this fashion film electric, with also which is the firecracker red. We had regular fashion film. So fashion film electric and regular fashion film are two different products. There's also a metallic silver in there. And then there's the Solutions Opaque CAD prints, and it's just on a pant leg. So depending on what you're looking for, there are a few products that just don't go together. but for the most part, you can join just about anything. Most of the films will adhere to the, will sit on top of the solutions opaque, and there's we also, if check out our websites, be it if you're going to Stalls ID Direct, Imprintables Warehouse, or Transfer Express. Look under the help and tips and education, and it will lead you to all kinds of videos, and it'll lead you to just product combination sheets as well. This, I don't know if anyone can grab this link here, but this is another one on hybrid customization. This actually was done by Josh Ellsworth. He doesn't say anything in the video that I can remember, but he just goes through and he's putting fashion film together with glitter. There's a lot of different combinations he does in this video. If you can't copy this, or if you have any trouble getting to this link, email me at the end of the webinar, and I'll be more than happy to send you the link separately. Okay, more in hybrid customization. This is all kinds of different stuff. As a matter of fact, this comes from our graphic tee kit. This is something that Stalls recently started offering. There's all kinds of different materials and the layouts on how to apply this, so you can just basically you can make a sample for your store. And then there's also actually a book on customization. There's the first one in our industry for the t-shirt business. So those are just a couple of neat ideas. And again, once you have an idea that a lot of folks don't to think about is, if you sell any kind of a stock transfer at your shirt at your store, you can offer personalization there too. My dad was a Vietnam vet. He served in the 169th Engineer Battalion. That's not something you have sitting on your shelf. So if you have a cutter, you can take a stock Army transfer, put on 169th EBC on the bottom, and now it's customized. So it's just a matter of reaching out there and looking into some new ideas. What you're looking at right here is a great way to demonstrate the different materials. I have a few stores actually that use this exact decoration method. They tell you what the product is, and then they list all the colors with a different logo, a star, a lightning bolt, whatever it is you have. This is a great way to let your customers see what's out there. It's not in existence just yet, but we're actually working on supplying this for you so that we can sell you a kit that says electric and has all the different colors on there. At this point, you can buy a yard of the material if you want to offer it, but we're working on having this as a finished product for you. And pretty much that's it. There's for anyone who's not interested is not familiar with Group Stall Sales Alliance. Basically, the Group Stall Sales Alliance is the outside sales crew. We have not got the entire country covered at this point, but we have most of it covered. The one thing we ask everyone is, don't say no to your customer until you ask your GSSA rep. Because we're pulling from Imprintables Warehouse, which sells equipment and yard goods in all kinds of different varieties. Stalls Transfer Express, which has your screen printed and digital transfers, and then Stalls ID Direct, which sells equipment, yard goods, digital transfers, as well as your traditional film transfers. Pretty much anything that's heat applied or sewn on applique, we have it. So by all means, feel free to call us, use us as a resource. We want to help you grow your business. My email address is here. I cover the Mid-Atlantic from North Carolina up to Delaware. If you don't happen to be in my territory, I'll be more than happy to direct you to the person who covers your territory. And that's pretty much it. I would like to thank everybody for your time today, and just open up Jody, we have any questions?
We do, Bruce.
Beautiful.
Yes. One of our attendees was wondering what the best way to cut reflective rolls down to 15 inches.
to cut them down?
Yeah, because some rolls are sold in 20-inch, and even I know Stahl sells them at 16-inch. And so what is the best way to get their rolls, if they have to purchase them in 20-inch wide, down to 15 inches in order to go through their vinyl cutter?
Okay, so yeah, some cutters are pretty much only able to handle 15-inch stock. As of right now, unfortunately, there's not a set way to just cut it down. I mean, really, you could cut it yourself, but you'd need a table saw. Yeah, not everyone has that in their shop, but as of right now, they're available. I'm trying to come through here. I'm looking through our CAD-CUT catalog, and by the way, this is something too. I apologize for not having a picture of it here, but there is a catalog for it's just CAD-CUT Direct. So any of you who have cutters, go ahead and call us up and request one of these catalogs. You can call Stahls directly, and they'll be able to get it right out to you. And let me see here. I'm buying a little time while I'm looking for the 3M reflective.
I thought it was offered as just only as small as 16-inch.
Yep, that's pretty much it. That is your smallest roll. What it is we have to cut the rolls down to get the best yield out of them, and as of right now, what we have to offer is 24 and 16-inch.
Yeah. So table saw it is, I guess, if you only have a 15-inch cutter, right?
Yeah, I mean, and again, that's definitely not the
ideal method.
We don't recommend doing that at all. It's just it's really, if you have to cut it down. The other option to do is to just cut off a length that you need, and so cut off a yard of your material, and then you'll have to take an inch or so off of the stock, and then run it through your machine separately. Which, by all means, we don't recommend using a table saw. It's unless you're familiar with cutting films and stuff like that, it can be dangerous. But what you could do is roll out a yard and then take a ruler and just trim off an inch or so of your material.
Okay. And then you know what, Bruce? A lot of people were really interested in the book that comes in the graphic tee kit. So they were wondering if you could tell them a little bit more about that.
Yeah, it's the business of T-shirts, and basically it is going to cover up from beginning to end in terms of what you're going to be looking at. What I'm going to have to do here is I'll try to get an image for anybody who wants to email me. I will, for whatever images we're not showing you here right now, I will try to get in my hands so we can set you up with it. Let me see here. For some reason or other, I'm not able to get the my computer's locking up on me here, and I can't get the slide to go back. Here we are. But yeah, I mean, basically it's from beginning to end in terms of what you can expect in the heat pressing industry. And the other resource that I'm going to promote here, and I'll plug Great Garment Graphics, is definitely go to Great Garment Graphics and look at their archived webinars, because everything you can think of is in here in terms of number one, technical aspects. They're going to show you how to do some things, but most importantly, marketing, and that's what everybody says. That's really what people are looking for, is marketing ideas and ways to make money. But yeah, the book, I would say definitely for the price of the tee kit, the book is a great addition, and it will help you. It will help you to get a professional's aspect in terms of the whole industry.
Mm-hmm. And then just the last question, we did have someone who joined late and wanted to know if you could tell them a little bit more about the Solutions Opaque, the applying onto leather, the printing digitally.
Yeah, Solutions Opaque is a really neat product. Very thin, very stretchable. And so, I mean, in Solutions Opaque, I would say anything from 50/50 right on up through leather. So nylons, different things. I know we've put opaque on leather before, belts, and the one logo I showed earlier, the Jay's race cars. But yeah, it's very soft. If you have it on leather, you'll run your hand over it, and it feels as soft as screen printing. And another benefit to CAD prints is even when you screen print, if you have 4 or 5 colors together, you're going to start feeling a little bit of weight to it. And I'm thinking more along the lines of shirts at this point. Whereas with a CAD print, it's on one single layer of film, so it doesn't matter if you have 5 colors or 500 colors. It's going to have the same feel to it. With CAD prints, so yeah, leather, it's just one of the things that you can do. One thing that I did put out as just something to be aware of is if you're going to be decorating leather, leather obviously is expensive, so you may want to go to a leather craftsman that's local and ask him to give you a couple of different pieces, and find out what they're made of. Tell him what you're doing, because actually that's a prospect for you. You can sell to that person, but try the different ones out. There are some cheaper grades of leather that if you hit them with heat, you're going to have some problems with them. So just make sure you do a quick test first. If you have a particular design, like the one we had was sort of like a winged shield, you can use a Print Perfect pad, which again is the same product as the lower part of your heat press. It's a foam pad, and what that'll do is it'll elevate your print area, and you may want to just cut out the shape of the design that you're printing and use that to elevate it. That way you don't have to worry about heat lines, and you won't be affected whether if the leather is a type that will take on the imprint of the heat press. That's going to eliminate it completely anyway.
Okay, perfect. And I also did want to mention that for those of you that want to check back to Great Garment Graphics, we do archive this video, and so you can either rewatch it or the PDF is included in a webinar wrap-up. And I will also include a link to the book, because it looks like we're actually have a lot of attendees expressing interest in the Business of T-Shirts book. So I'll include a link to that, and also to the graphic tee kit, and then also to Josh's hybridization video, custom hybridization video. That way, nobody has to really do too much work in order to kind of re-access the things that you touched on in the video. So be sure to check back by the end of the day today, and I will have those up for you.
Thank you very much, Jody. And I'm just open to any other questions that we might have.
The one last thing, Bruce, is that a couple of our attendees want to see the photo again of the Solutions Opaque, of the graphic.
Okay. Give me 1 second here. Actually, I'll show you a couple of this in the hybrid. That's also Solutions Opaque right there. I apologize, folks. This computer's slow here. Okay, this is also Solutions Opaque, and actually, you're seeing Solutions Opaque here, where you see your detail. I know this isn't the one they're looking for, but we had it all over the place.
Yeah, it is all over the place. You're right.
Computer slower than Christmas.
I think that's great too, the amount of detail that the super film offers, particularly for nylon too. I really like that one photo.
Yeah, it was almost hilarious, because when I cut that out, the guy said, "Yeah, can you do this?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm going to give it a try." And I hung up, and I'm like, "Ain't no way this is going to happen." But it worked. I was really impressed as to how well it was, how well it worked, and how easy it was to weed. Here's our Solutions Opaque on the leather. And again, if someone joined us late, this is printed on leather. You cannot see it. If you do attend any of our trade shows, you will see this. This is one of our regular displays. But it's a heavy grade of leather, just like a motorcycle leather jacket, and works really well on there. And this is going to help you in terms of any kind of detail and colors you want. It's just a great way to get the job done.
I think that's the last of our questions there, Bruce. Great Garment Graphics would really like to extend a big thank you for your presentation today, and thank you so much for joining us today, Bruce. And thank you also to all those who attended.
Yes, thank you, Jody, and thanks everybody for joining us. I appreciate your time.
Have a great day.
Thanks, you too.